Hello everybody, it's Charlie again. I am currently playing the Hong Kong Massacre. And this is one of those indie games that's literally a classic, and that's what we'll be talking about today. In 2024, see how the game works, see if you guys, if it's worth playing at all. So yeah, replay review guys, let's get into it. Hope you guys enjoy. What's up guys, welcome to another replay review. This time the Hong Kong Massacre. This game is cool and great and addictive because it's based on the hard-boiled, the killer, and the thief. I think Once Upon a Time a Thief with Chow Yun-fat, one of my favorite actors from Hong Kong. This guy was in Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon and stuff like that, but he's best known for action movies where they go into shootouts, gory shootouts, and it's just pure insanity. A lot of people that didn't grow up around that era probably don't know him, but I guarantee you this game takes a page out of that. The reason why John Wick and those movies are around is because of this guy. And if you ever played a game called Stranglehold that came up for the PS3, it was one of the first games for the PS3 when the PS3 came out. A lot of people don't know. And it came with those movies in it. I think it only came with Hard Boiled, maybe The Killer as well, I'm not sure, but that was an interesting game. And as you can see, the goriness of that's what that's portraying here. I just haven't seen games like this come out very often, you know. A lot of people may think of Max Payne and stuff like that. Well, Max Payne actually is influenced by these movies that I'm talking to you about. So if you're thinking Max Payne influenced this game, it's possible, because Max Payne is the OG of this kind of game, that slow-mo style. But in those movies, the slow-mo style was already in there. So, and since it's in Hong Kong, I figured, hey, they're talking about Chow Yun-fat, I'm pretty sure. I think he retired and he donated most of his money to charity, guys, believe it or not. Pretty cool person that I would like to meet at some point in life. But anyways, in this game, the gameplay, the graphics, the gore, and the blood is really cool. Even though it's an indie, it's one of those indies that's done really well. It takes you to the action right away. And here are the mission select screen where you can go back into the missions and replay them to get the 3 stars for the platinums and stuff. So you can go back in and redo the missions to get a better time. Obviously this game is very difficult because one shot will kill you. A lot of people don't like that kind of thing. I'm actually on my second run through of the game, and yeah, I just had to start it all over because it was that fun. Yeah, but yeah, the levels are varied. As you can see, the sparks of the shooting and everything, it'll remind you of other games like Enter the Gungeon and stuff like that because it's top view, but it actually has more in common with games where slow-mo is implemented and they're fully 3D realized games. And this game does it really well, guys. You will not be bored, and obviously you will die a lot, so be prepared. But the game actually gives you how to explain it, a cinematic, stylish effect. You know, even though obviously it's very limited, there's not a lot of options or a lot of modes, but it doesn't matter because the thing that's gonna get you is the sound, the music that's playing. It'll kind of bring you into the whole thing. And I gotta say, man, even the character, obviously it does have a kind of a story there. It's kind of a crappy story. I think that's why I brought it down points wise. But do I think it's worth it? Yeah, if you find it, buy this game right away. It should be on special. I believe it only cost me like $20 when it came out. I think I'm pretty sure it did. I showed my friend this game and he got really addicted to it right away. Obviously there's so many games coming out, but what I did was I decided to go back into it and play it all over again in 2024 so I could do the review. And yeah, I'm still pretty good at it. Obviously the buttons you have to get used to, but once you get used to that configuration, I guarantee you're gonna want to come back over and over. It's not annoyingly roguelike, like you just die for no reason. No, you die and you feel like you're slowly gaining skills, kind of like Sifu. You know how it's fun even though you died, you still want, you know that you could have done a little bit better. It works that way, and you're gonna keep redoing some of the levels because the music is bumping and the level layout is so varied. They're so different that you don't ever do the shooting in the same layout. Obviously it's a story about a Hong Kong cop or I think it's an XCOM. I don't really pay attention to the story because it doesn't matter in this game. But overall, man, I gotta say, you guys, I haven't seen anybody talk about this game very often, even when it came out. So I was like, man, I gotta tell people about another one of those gems that's just hiding in the rough, you know? Since I'm sort of halfway through the review, I'm going to give you guys my rating right now. I think the Hong Kong Massacre is an 8 out of 10 for indie games. Remember, I rate games based on their genre. For an indie game, this is an 8 out of 10, I guarantee it. Maybe to most people 7.5, but to me an 8 because I'm also nostalgic about it. But here's some of the weapons. And if you notice that there's a variety of weapons, they also tell you what each weapon component is, how many shots, the clips that it gets. So you do run out of bullets. So you have to pick up weapons as you're shooting and taking out the bad guys. And they do it in such a way that it doesn't annoy you. It's just fun. And some of the layouts, as you can see, breakable environments go up as the sparks go up in a very stylish manner. And when you jump over tables, you kind of jump through glass. You can shoot people through glass. It's really cool, and it's a very simple premise, which is crazy, right? Because you would think, man, you would need complicated things and everything. You don't need any of that, not for this kind of game. And they've proven it. This is the best top view shooter that I've seen. You know, where, yeah, you have to be careful because you get shot once. Obviously, I recommend playing it in hard, but normal is fine. You're still going to have a challenge. It does have a boss at the end of each week that you experience with this character, and it kind of progresses the story a little, but there isn't any cinematics or anything like that. It's very indie. The point is the gameplay is what you need. It's a solid gameplay. The controller layout is a little weird at first, but you will be, trust me, you'll get used to it. As time goes on, you're going to be like, okay, I think I got it. There's a button for slow-mo. There's a button for rolling or dodging. As you can see, I wanted to put as many deaths as possible because, yeah, you will die a lot. But yeah, there's a button for slow-mo. There's a button for dodges. There's a button for shooting, and they're usually placed up here. I don't think there's any buttons in the regular X and square and stuff like that, but yeah. Overall, though, like I said, this game also has a good gore, and the way the models look, obviously from a distance, when you see them up close and you take out the final guy, you can tell it's an indie game. But from top view, it's absolutely gorgeous, guys. And on the PS5, I don't know if there's any enhancements, but it feels great, which is what I'm playing it on. And I think, if anything, the 4-stage DR might help the lighting a little bit, but it's one of those games that looks good regardless. So I do recommend it 100%. To some of you, it might be a 10 because it just depends what you're into. For me, as a reviewer, I have to be fair. I would love to give it a 10 because it's a lot of fun. But every time you kind of like nail somebody, and the guns actually feel different. They don't feel the same. But I do recommend using mostly handguns. I've noticed that handguns are the main weapon that I would use. It's only like, I believe, a clip of 20, and some of them have more clips, but one shot, since it's a one-shot kind of game, it really doesn't matter if you use a semi-automatic rifle or anything like that, or a fully automatic. There's a shotgun in the game as well, so it's very straight to the point. What else can I say? Oh, the environments, like I said, aside from being breakable, the sounds of the environment are very vibrant. They kind of get you engaged into the action, and there is really nothing else that I could say, but this is definitely a hidden gem that if you guys have never played it or never heard about it, this might be the time to get it. It might be on special because it's been out, I think, since, I'm not sure when it came out, maybe 2018, 2019. But what else? Well, there is a few things that you might find kind of weird sometimes. I guess the bad in the game is that when you're using the dodge mechanics, you get stuck in corners and stuff, and you will get shot over and over. That might be frustrating. But overall, it works. Okay, but that would be, I guess, a drawback. And obviously, the story's not that engaging, like I said earlier. There's just a few drawbacks, really. I think the slow-mo works really well. There's a bar for the slow-mo that if you have to use it wisely, obviously, so make sure you dodge when you're supposed to. The bad guys do progressively get more difficult, and the boss fights are insane. They could take crazy amount of damage, and sometimes you're gonna use a lot of trickery. You know, what I do is I picture those movies in my mind, And I'm like, yeah, in honor of Chow Yun Fat, and I just, you know what I'm saying? Because if you watch those movies, you know, especially Hard Boiled, guys, if you've never seen that, watch Hard Boiled, okay? It's like an 80s action shoot 'em up movie. And it's pure insanity, you know? And this kind of drives a plot that's somewhere in that campus, which is why I related to those movies. But yeah, like I said, definitely, I think it's a solid 8 for an indie. I think it's done well. I don't know if these I think it's Devolver, the developer, but I'm not sure. Don't quote me on that. They're pretty cool. And or it might not be Devolver, but anyways, the other things is right here is just your basic game and sound. Here, sensitivity, music, how loud it is. It can get pretty loud. And obviously the control scheme. Okay, reload is square. Okay, so and then picking up weapons is X. So that's all you're gonna do with the bottom buttons, but the top ones are the ones you have to keep in mind. But anyways, guys, I'm gonna go ahead and end it right here. I do hope you guys enjoyed it. Please like and subscribe when you get a chance. And like I always say, go game.